at the beginning so we can
everybody appreciate our graphics.
Appreciate the Thanksgiving graphics while we we're like discussing whether or not this border is a little too clip arty, fourth grade, which
I think it's fourth graders are too mature for this. It's
second.
Yeah.
So we're going to take that off during in just a little bit, but we'll let you enjoy it for the moment. I hesitate to say we're going to have a short show because I can't guarantee that, but it is a holiday week. So we have a little less to chat about, but we still got some things happening. It was a surprisingly eventful day yesterday. So we'll have some things to chat about. Are you ready, Adrienne?
Yeah.
Should we get this party started?
I can't wait.
If you're already...
Yesterday was one of the most exciting days on Farcaster, I think.
Really? Okay. I don't know about that, but all right.
That's something. That's the mood I'm in. But
yeah, it was something. If you're watching already and you're with us, retweet, recast, let people know we are live, and we will be back on the other side of this 40 seconds. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Nanish Prof and Adrienne, for another episode of GM Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Wednesday, November 26th, and you are here with Nanish Prof and Adrienne for 29 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. And happy TNBT. TNBT. It's the night before Thanksgiving. We call that TNBT. I don't know about you. Was that a big thing for you?
I've never heard that before.
Oh, I mean, it's probably a hometown thing. It's one of my thingies. But it was always a big deal. It was always like the night before Thanksgiving was always a big deal. Like in my 20s, like in coming back from college kind of thing. So
big party night.
Big party night. Careful out there.
We didn't have a name for it. Was always a big party night. And now I'm old and I am an adult with kids and family. And now I have to cook.
And now it's a big cooking night for you.
So now
I am an adult with no family nearby, so I don't have to cook. So it's just my mom and my son, and we're going to go to a restaurant tomorrow, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it.
I will. I kind of miss it a little bit, like of the big family dinners, but I also don't miss the prep and the cook and the clean up and all that stuff. I can live without that.
What's funny is I don't even like Thanksgiving food. It's not.
Oh, that's funny.
I find it really bland, too starchy. Like not enough greens. Not enough. So I don't even like it. And we do it with family that really likes traditional. Like it's like you have to have the same every year. It has to be the same exact things. But because I'm hosting, I can start throwing in like my own things.
Absolutely.
We have to do a traditional, but then I have to do all this other stuff too. But somehow I'm in the mood, and for whatever it is, maybe it's like all the nonsense happening outside of the things I can't control. So I'm like, I'm pouring myself into my kitchen this week.
You can control the what goes on the table. We always had very traditional, and my plate always only had beige food, and that was like the joke with my cousins, like just the beige food over here. Everything else got passed right by me. Like, oh, carrots, squash, get rid of this, get rid of that. Went right past me. So that, and then we always, it's an Irish family mostly, and one side of the family, the other side's Lebanese. But the Irish family, we'd know when dinner was ready because you'd smell the rolls burning. Like, so once the rolls were burnt, it's time to eat. Yeah. Great cooks in the family. Great cook scenario.
By the way, I'll never be an adult. It's a superpower.
Good move.
But Prof and I do a live stream show about Farcaster and hang out. I'm pretty sure we are not adults either.
We are not serious people. All right, I'm getting rid of the border. Say goodbye and happy Thanksgiving to the border.
Thank you. I kind of couldn't handle that.
We put it on there for a little bit. It did have these little options too, but that was like, that's too little. There's little turkey badges and stuff. They're cute. All right. Anyway, moving on. By the way, and I almost grabbed this and I forgot to grab the Macy's Parade Try Emerge. We showed it the other day, but you all should go make one because they're really cool. I really love that one. That was great. All right. Let's dive in.
Wholesome fun on Farcaster. Try Emerge.
Yes. Sometimes it's fun. First thing I want to start with is just another shout out to the haberdashery. Starting next week, Wednesdays, we will have a haberdashery spotlight. So they will be sponsoring us for 2 months, and we are excited. We had a chat with Perp. We're excited to add some education into this because part of what the haberdashery is doing is some rewards for liquidity pools and things like that. So we want to add some education around like, what are liquidity pools? How do you contribute to one? What is this whole thing? So diving into a little bit more of DeFi, talking about Uniswap before hooks, because that's been a big topic. And that's going to be part of what the haberdashery funded with this particular prop, as well as funding us. So very excited. And this was from Voctoni. Last week, the haberdashery put DaVinci.vote to work for one of their DAO proposals. The vote ran smoothly, anonymous, protected against coercion, and fully gasless. For this election, all voting logic ran through our smart contracts on Base, guaranteeing verifiable integrity and results on chain settlement. Huge credit to the haberdashery for supporting our tech and pioneering its use, and special thanks to Perp. So this is one of the projects that the haberdashery has funded over the years. So go check them out if you're looking for a voting solution for your DAO or other organization. All righty, moving on. I don't know if we talked about this. I don't think we did, so I grabbed it because I think we forgot this one. So this was from V a couple days ago. Buy USDC with debit card. I think I know why I skipped it because I'm like, who has cash that they like that's like our audience really doesn't need this, and I think that's why I skipped it. But I'm like, if you're out there and you're a normie and you suddenly feel that you want to fund your Farcaster wallet because you will have still have no fees right now and some of the lowest fees. So there you go. You can now buy up to 2,500 of USDC every week with your debit card. Go to Wallet, Deposit, Buy Crypto to get started. Issue to Daniel for the great work on this.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel.
Be warned, everyone always does on-ramps before they do off-ramps.
It's true. I mean, they got to do
on-ramp,
that.
Yeah.
Got to do that.
So you can put money on chain. It's not as easy to take it off.
No. Well, you just have to, you have to find an off-ramp.
I'm just saying Farcaster built an on-ramp. Farcaster built an on-ramp, which is great, but it doesn't mean they have an off-ramp.
There's no off-ramp.
And I know this because I've gotten my teenagers to use Farcaster and they really liked playing, and especially when there were rewards for posting. And my kids are showing me like, oh my goodness, like I'm getting USDC. This is real money. Okay, how do I use it?
You bought it. You bought it from them, didn't you?
Of course I did. Of course I did.
I've done the same thing with my kid. When he's
I'm their bank.
Way back when he did a couple of prop houses and things like that, and I just here, sell me the ETH. I'll just give it to you. To make it easy. So, and it's the same thing with my students. That's really funny because at the end of the semester, one of the assignments was, what are you going to do with the crypto you have now? And most of them just left it where it was, and they'll probably forget all about it. They don't have a whole bunch. But I did say, if you want to off ramp, that's all on you because you got to figure, because that's a whole more involved situation. And I don't make them set up a Coinbase account, like an exchange account, because because I'm sending them some Ethereum to use during the class, so they don't need to. But this is a cool feature. It'll come in handy for somebody. So there you go. All right, moving on. So the Monad Monad launch was Monday, and if you had an airdrop from them, it was in your wallet on Monday. It was sent out. So if you already did your claim on the monad.xyz site where you opened up the boxes and did that whole little thing, it was just sent to you. So if you don't see it in your wallet may not recognize it. Sometimes you have to import those tokens like to MetaMask. But if you go connect it to something like Matcha, you'll see it in there as well. So this from Farcaster. In addition to the 2,000 Farcaster users who received the official Monad airdrop, 1,000 top traders on Farcaster will also receive Mon tokens. So there was another drop that was sent out on Farcaster. And the only place I saw it to claim was in my notifications. So if you missed it, scroll back through your notifications. And if you're like me, this is going to take a while. It took me a while to find it, but it was on Monday. And if you scroll back, you'll see the claim process. So you may have, a few more 100 Mon sitting there. And honestly, it's really smart because then people started launching things on Clanker. So you had some Mon to be able to do that. So that was cool. This from honeymoney.eth. Being an active trader on Farcaster pays out. I wasn't eligible for the initial drop, but got something even better. Thank you to both Farcaster and Monad teams. $750 airdrop by using the smoothest wallet with the lowest fees out there. We take it all day long. So very exciting. There you go. Mine wasn't that high, but good for you. It was a lot less than that. This from Dish. Monad deploys are now live through Clanker World's deploy forum. And I think now they are also live via tagging Clanker. So that I think launched later on. Key differences. Initial starting market cap will be 100K Mon. Only static fees are enabled. So they did create dynamic fees recently, but for this, you can only do the static fees. One full range LP position is placed. Bot deployments will be out later today. Pre-clanks and API deploys will be a fast follow. So I think some of that is already out there. So go check that out if you're interested. And I did do a little experiment. I know some other people did as well. Best one I saw was Oxens. In my opinion, Mo or more is a fundamental memetic germ of Monad. So I clanked a Clanker called More. If there's ever a Monad season, then I can imagine people saying more, more, like higher. And other it goes fast. And then eventually some with higher itself. I can't babysit it, but I think it's an interesting idea. Anyway, it's out in the wild now. More. I did think that was smart. That was a very smart one. I wanted to just figure out how it worked. So I clanked this, just a little homage to Billy Idol with a Moni. Little
nice.
Moni. Yeah.
That's now in my head.
Yeah, there you go. That was the idea. And it was actually the #1 song this past week. I think it's already passed over, but the past week when I launched this, it was the #1 song in the USA in 1987. This particular week. So there you go.
Perfect. How do you know that? Because you Googled Moni?
Because I checked. So I
or
was like,
you
when
knew.
did it
Okay.
come
I'm like,
out?
tell
When
me you don't know
exactly
that.
did it come out? And then
The
I
year.
was like,
Okay.
oh, it actually came out this past week. A year, 1987. So there you go. But yeah. So there you go. Just a couple experiments. NFA, DYOR, probably shouldn't buy either of these, but just kind of sharing. There's a bunch of experiments going on from people just testing out the Monad clanking. It is different. There's different liquidity. There's different rewards. Like it definitely works a little different. It was hard to figure out because I did it pretty early, right after his announcement, just to kind of play around. And it was hard to figure out the dev buy because it's still listing it in ETH, even though it's using Mon. And it was a little tricky to figure out like how much to do and stuff like that. So anyway, go check that out. Okay. I'm just trying to decide where I want to go next. I don't think I want to do that yet. Let me get a couple other things done before I jump into this. Oh, it's all this. Never mind. The rest of it is all this.
What are you avoiding?
Oh, wait a minute. There's one more thing.
I see you looking at these links and not touching them.
I'm waiting to say. We do have some results from the new leaderboard from Quotient. There are no rewards yet. They are going to be doing some random rewards coming up, but there was nothing for this week. This was Pride, not Prize. And this is from Burt Worst. Maybe the real Farcaster Rewards was getting more engagement than DWR in his own protocol along the way. So it was fun to watch that back and forth happening, and I was enjoying that like little rivalry fun moment. I think I ended up at like number 8 or something like that, which I also enjoyed. So thank you.
Highest I've ever been or something.
Highest I've ever been on a leaderboard. Oh, how the tide has turned. I love it. I love this leaderboard. All right, let's dive into the big thing. And I still have other things. We're going to dive into this.
This is why people are here.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that. Here we go. We're talking about that. Okay.
What even is that? How would you?
We're going to discuss what this is.
I was going to cast about it, but I was like, I don't even know what to call it. What is it?
Okay, here's what happened. So let's start with the facts. DWR casted this CA and this long 0x number. So when you cast CA, people assume contract address. So right below this, hold on, when did he say? Somebody had asked pretty early on. Here it is. So when I had looked around 10 minutes-ish, maybe a little less after this cast, I saw K-Mac say, were you hacked? Where you hacked? Seeking first to understand. And he said, nope. So, and then somebody said, to be fair, this is what a hack person would say. And I thought that was funny. And then he said, when deck screener, never. So it was all this like back and forth that it made it sound like it was an actual token. But he was not hacked. So it was like, okay, this is safe to buy because he launched this, and this was an EOA. It was not a contract address. It did not link to anything when he put that in there. However, a very clever person launched a Clanker in the 10 minutes, about 10, maybe a little less than 10 minutes after Dan casted this. They took that address and turned it into the title, the name of a Clanker, so that when you click on it, it leads to that Clanker. So Dan had casted about 30 minutes later, or 20-something minutes later. I was testing something. There's no token here. It's a random Ethereum address. I don't have the private key. The problem was in between, this happened where somebody had actually made it into a token. So when you clicked on Dan's original cast, especially if you didn't see that one, or if it was before he casted that, you thought this was legit. And it would bring you to this token. So this is not financial advice. Do not buy this token now. It's a bad idea. So this is what happened. And you can see where I bought, where I sold. That's what these little things are.
Thank you, Sloke.
Yeah. So thank you for that. So yeah. So that's what happened. And then here's what happened next. So needless to say, people got a little cranky about this, but also funny. So let's start with the funny. So people started casting CA and various things. This was from 6. Casting the map with California. This was Garrett, Canada. There was a couple Canadas because yours is different. There was a couple Canadas that were casted. This was my personal favorite from Matthew Fox. Took me a second. Appreciated that. That is Christina Aguilera. If you're not familiar,
I did not know who that was.
It's Christina Aguilera from like. This is straight out of the 90s, like the American Music Awards or something, or like the MTV Awards or something like that. I liked this from Horsefacts, address coins with the Drawn Draper meme. But this one was probably the most accurate. It's giving, this is from JRF, post CA, why would you buy this? Okay, because here's what happened. Dan got a little cranky about people pushing back on the fact that this happened. And, I think there was a way to frame this as like, hey, when I casted it, it would have been very simple to just say, hey, when I casted this, it was only a wallet. It didn't occur to me someone was going to turn it into a token. Sorry about that. I should have been more clear. Because as soon as he started saying I was testing something, everyone was like, oh, okay, well, stop buying this thing. Also, the person who did create the token had an opportunity to turn this around a bit as well, and probably would have done better if he had. And just say, hey, I saw what Dan did and I did this. So it's me, it's not Dan. Like, instead of trying to pass it off like it was Dan's token.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a couple.
Instead of scamming people, tell people you're scamming them. Then,
yes.
Then they're in.
Honestly, then everyone would have been
in
like,
on the joke.
Oh, that was smart. Like that was actually, because in my mind, I'm like, you know what? That was pretty savvy. So you could have owned that savviness and run with it and made it funny, and it could have been like a runner. It really could have. Instead, what happened was some people lost money. I don't think anyone lost any big money, but I wasn't paying attention to what the buys were. Like me, I always do I'm doing like a $20 thing, and I lost $10 and I'm not going to think anything of it because I do know it's my agency and I choose, and chances are that was going to happen whether he did it on purpose or not. I was going to lose money on that. So I didn't think much of it, but Dan's response has set some people off a little bit because it's coming off as a little defensive and a little a little tone deaf, like not reading the room.
I think people want him to take accountability for the influence he has on the network. It's like, oh, look at you. You're in a leadership position. So when you speak, your words are different. Obviously, you know what happens in the crypto space. So, if you post an address, everybody apes in, and you should know that, and therefore it's your fault. Take accountability for our actions. And then he pushes back and says, no, adults have agency. No one's forcing you to buy anything.
Which is very true. Yeah.
Everybody,
Which is true. But it's true. But if you cast something, if you post something that's CA, the expectation is people will buy that if they think it's something that you're doing. This was a very foreseeable outcome that this would happen. So I feel like there was multiple times to jump in with better comms. You know what I mean? Either right from the beginning, right after you casted it, hey, I'm testing something. Even if you put it in the replies, then it feels more on me. Then it feels more like I'm responsible. Okay, I get what you're doing.
Should we get Merkel's head of corporate comms on our show to talk about what their strategy
why don't
is
they come
for
in?
communicating?
This is the problem.
It's a team of experts. I mean, that's it.
I know.
That's it.
I know. This is the problem. I just think there was just multiple times to make this a lot less worse, and it just kept getting worse. Just mitigate quickly.
Or is conspiracy theory, or is it you're speed running this experiment and you're getting out this powerful message that it's no one's forcing you to buy everything? I actually, obviously,
maybe.
I mean, it is what it is. I feel like
I just don't think that was an intentional, that was not the test. We know that's not the test. Whatever you were testing, that wasn't it. It wasn't testing to see if people would just buy something random, because that, I don't think this was intentional whatsoever. And I say that I don't think he had, a negative intent. I think the response was done poorly. I don't think the original thing was a problem. It's the response after the fact. So
I have exactly 0.0 times bought something when someone posted a CA.
Oh, that's funny, because I have many times.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
negative. I just won't. Why would I? Because there's no information.
Right.
I don't know what am I doing? Like, so,
The
but
other thing is it started trending. Because
also I've 0.0 times
I know.
bought something because I saw
You
it
had
trending.
2 things. You had 2 things going on, and it's like, and this is the way it's designed, right? I mean, it's the network is now designed to do that.
Yeah.
So that if people and then because then the other response, because somebody mentioned, hey, it was trending, and Dan said, well, that's just the people that you know, or what, and it's like, doesn't matter.
It,
Doesn't matter.
it's
Like, that's not a
yeah.
good response, Dan. Like, doesn't matter. Yeah.
I mean, look, obviously, I mean, my personal take is I think Dan could have done better. Like, done better from a like, I think it is. It's like, I think if you're in if you're in a leadership position anywhere, you have a responsibility. Like, I don't think we should end. And I think he could have done better, but he didn't. So then, all right. And then I think the conversation, I just found like the conversation that comes out of it,
Yeah.
I thought was interesting. Like, I thought there was a lot of good discussion and debate about what is the role of Farcaster, the protocol versus the app. What is the Merkle team pushing? Are we pushing casino antics? The only thing I think that doesn't appear on the feed as much is like the people talking, and you know, and I also think there's varying levels of civility and how aggressive and kind of mean people are getting. I kind of, and maybe it's because of my following graph, but I felt like people were pretty civil
For the
and
most
having
part.
good conversations on both sides. And then I saw Linda say like, whoa, things got really nasty today. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even see that. So
If you look through some of the
hard to know.
replies, people were
saying,
it just
"F you,
depended.
Dan." Like,
It was all
yeah.
over the place.
Mhm.
So it was, if you dig into the replies, you'll see both of that. And then there were other folks like Oxen and Garrett and a few other people who I saw casting things, and then there were discussions within their threads as well. So within something like that, and there was a couple things like this with Dan. I didn't pull the other one. I should have. When he did finally cast this, but again, this is like over 20 minutes later. I think it was like 22 minutes later or something. There was some discussion in here as well. And there was some, if you look through some of these responses, some of these are not great,
Mhm.
And then there's some people going, what were you testing? Like, what do you, like, what are you doing? Because everyone's like, what's going on? So even
Right.
people who are
Someone's like, "Why
pretty
don't you have it
savvy,
all?"
yeah, there was a
I
lot of
actually
like,
think that is like test
yeah,
if you're Dan Romero and you're, and you are testing something like you could test with an alt. I
yeah.
don't. Like, I'm not popular enough. I test with
You
my
can test with there was so many different ways to approach this. So here was the one that really threw some people off. Was this response like, post something, someone creates a token based off of it. Why did you make me buy the coin? So this is where this kind of went off the rails as well in the replies.
I think that was the one that set people off. The emotions, like where people's emotions got in.
And even I responded, I'm like, that's not the problem. That's not helpful. I almost replied again. I actually almost sent him a DM, and then I'm like, you know what? He's getting piled on enough. I don't need to add to this. It's not going to add any value. I don't need to say this right now. I just felt like there were so many opportunities to just deal with it differently. And yeah, the only people who lost were fueled by greed and FOMO. And when it doesn't work, they bring out their sanctimony, which I like that. Thank you. That was good. But the message that users should be smarter is way more valuable than the annoying people who churn away. Maybe. In this particular, most of the time, I 100% agree with that. Like, if you get scammed on something because you didn't look into who it was and I totally agree with that. Like, it's on you. Adults have agency. Like, no one's responsible. No one made you buy it. And that still holds true in this situation, except for all the other things. Like, except there were so many ways to mitigate this that just didn't get done, and that could have got done very quickly. And that's what I'm frustrated at a little about, because there were so much easier ways to deal with this, and it just didn't get done. It didn't need to be this bad. It didn't need to be this bad.
But it wasn't, but also, was it that bad?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't think that this was, if you are now putting your focus in as trading, and that this, yes, you just pissed off a bunch of people who are traders, who, whatever, if that's what you want. Well, now, if you don't care about that, and like, that's not your focus right now, then whatever. But I do think that it was a big misstep. People were already cranky. You just made them a million times crankier. Like, how is that helpful? It's not. So that's all. But so you're saying, no, it's not bad, and you should.
I just didn't think
it was a good conversation.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm not less than ideal, but I don't think it was so bad. I don't know. I'm tired. I know.
Prof. I know.
I'm tired.
All right. Can I just say
on this? Well, hold on. But going back, the only thing I will say is, like, it's the when I was at DevConnect, I met someone who runs a drug treatment center, addiction treatment center. And we were talking about, and he was a former addict himself, and he was previously homeless, living in Los Angeles, and he cleaned himself up, and he's been running this treatment center. And we had a really long talk, and he's getting into crypto also as a way to try to kind of give, I think, people who are struggling with addiction, this is like teaching them new skills.
Okay.
And using and whatever. So
giving them a new addiction.
Okay. So that's where we went to. Yeah. So it was about skills, right? But we actually, he was just talking a lot about why people do drugs. And he was something like, he was college. Like, he's like, listen, I'm intelligent. He was like, he was in college for engineering or something. So yeah. And we started talking about degen addiction and gamble, like kind of the gambling addiction, and how similar they are. And I was just thinking of, like, all the times, if you've ever driven through Atlantic City or New Jersey where there's I mean, I guess gambling's legal everywhere now, you know, God help us. Much. But all the billboards that are like 1-800-GAMBLING, like, if you have, like, the amount of support that goes up for gambling addicts, and you don't really have any of those resources visible on gambling networks and casinos that are now everywhere, right, and being pushed. Yeah. And I think the people who suffer are invisible. So we did talk about kind of like, if
that's interesting,
just degen, and he and I actually talked about maybe doing some sort of panel someday, or a discussion around degen
That'd be cool. I think that's a great idea. And I think so. A lot of those billboards and things you see, that's part of the deal when they get money to build a casino, and when they get permission to build a casino. That's why we don't need permission online. So there you go.
Yeah, you don't need it. Like, it's just anyone.
They're not going to make, if you're not made to do it, you're not going to do it. So, interesting.
And then what happens if you don't do that, right? So it's like, I'm high agency. I don't have to worry about it, right? Free country, adults have agency, great. But if you damage, like, if people get hurt, and it's kind of like, you know, like, a society is only as healthy as its poorest folks, and like, so I agree. Like, I agree 100% with everything Dan says, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. I don't know. It's like complicated.
I think this situation was slightly different. I really do. I think it was a big misstep that it was so easily avoided. And I don't know. We'll see. It's just not a good look. Unforced error. That just didn't need to happen. Anyway, moving on. Not really moving on, but a couple more things on this. Related.
How cute is Warplet holding a CA, though?
I know. He's very cute. I like him with the CA.
Or
Warpy.
From Say Angel.
Warpy. I call him Warpy, but others don't. This is from Lynx, and I think this is interesting. Are you a chump or a jerk? The space is filled with both. Chumps come in groups, and they think things are true simply because they wish them so. You might be a chump if you think you own any part of FC or that base is going to airdrop you some tokens that will give you some ownership of the network. Jerks take advantage of chumps. They're experts in saying non-committal things that lead chumps to believe the cool thing for their own ends. For instance, a jerk might allude to you owning a network or airdropping a token simply to get you to use the network. They always have moral high ground in their mind because A, they didn't technically lie, and B, they are maximizing shareholder value. The thing is, jerks need chumps more than chumps need jerks. So if you are unhappy with the amount of jerks in this space, stop being such a chump. So that was interesting. And there was some additional discussion down here. So I'll just leave it at that.
Do you think you're a chump or a jerk, Prof?
I don't think I'm a jerk at all, but I think I've definitely been a chump on many occasions. And I think that's normal in this space and in life almost. This from Limone, as a user and builder. Oh, let me start down here. Farcaster's founding premise was building a social, this is from Nikki Sapp, was building a social that doesn't extract from users the way Web2 platforms do. That vision still matters to me, but watching the platform aggressively push casino mechanics while influential accounts push extractive low cap shitters is potentially more predatory. And this went on to talk about this. Limone came back as a user and builder. I actually care about one thing above everything else, people actually using the network. The new casino meta doesn't bother me. Open systems attract all kinds of experiments, even trading, memes, and speculation. And that energy can pull new people and capital in. What matters is we keep the core intact, that two users can always find each other and talk no matter what. If this direction brings more creators, more builders, more communities, I'm all for it. As long as Farcaster stays an open permissionless as a protocol, we're on the right path. So I saw a lot of that. I think this was a good example of the discussion that was going on. Like, and it kind of, some of it spun from this. Some of this has been going on continuously since the shift, I think since the Clanker purchase, honestly, and that shift towards
we're going to focus like you. Yeah.
So I think this is a good discussion to have. I don't know how much we've accomplished with it yet, but we'll see. And then this was from you. Can't be evil versus won't be evil. As an early Farcaster user who came for the decentralization, who has been around long enough to see a lot of Merkel's iteration in search of growth, I always come back to the definition of sufficiently decentralized that Varun wrote. A social network achieves sufficient decentralization. Two users can find each other and communicate, even if the rest of the network wants to prevent it. That's the promise. That's all I personally signed up for. That's the thin line between can't be evil and won't be evil. And I'll just leave that there. So a lot of that. A lot of discussion like that, which is good.
Was Nikki's cast before or after Dan dropped his his EOA?
After. It was after.
It was after? Okay.
I think so. I think it was. I have to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure it was, it was after, because Dan at this point is 16 hours ago, I think. So, 16, he's around 16 hours ago, and Nikki's was 7 hours ago.
No, it's not, because no. It's like that 7 hours is not right, because I quote casted it 18 hours ago or something.
Oh, hold on. Then that's not right. Oh, then maybe it was before.
I think it was before. And I think also maybe when I'm so defensive. Yeah.
That's not right. So it was before. Yeah. 20 hours ago. Yep.
Right. I think maybe one of the reasons I'm so defensive, what's the word I'm looking at? Or maybe being much more charitable with what Dan did.
Yeah.
Is because I'm not seeing it as an isolated incident, but with like wrapped up into all the meta around should Farcaster be a trading app?
Yeah.
And people getting upset about it. And so when people piled on Dan, it just to me was like just one more thing to pile on, that people are unhappy that Farcaster has moved into kind of trading. And I think that's why it was like, who cares? So I think that is, no, it's just like, it's one more thing. We've already talked about this. Like there's so much. So I think ultimately that's where I was already having the conversation with Nikki a little bit, seeing that debate. And it's like, there's so many people upset about trading. And I had this conversation a lot with people at DevConnect. And it is, so I think that is why I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I think there's, yeah, I think this conversation has been pretty continuous in different forms. And we're just, that's why I mean, like, this was a bit of a, I think that was already percolating. And then this happens, and then it's just like, oh, fuck. Like, oh, no. This is not good. So I think that's how that happened. Oh, it's not this one.
Did you say the F word on? Is that going to mess up our YouTube channel?
Oh, I didn't even think of that. I forget about that part. YouTube is surprisingly, yeah, they have issues with that sort of thing. All right, we've got a couple more things that are a little lighter. Anything else you want to say on this before we?
No, are you laughing?
Yes.
No, I have something like stuck in my eye, and I keep trying to like get it out on, and I'm like,
okay,
I'm like,
you can go back off screen. I thought the reason you were doing that was because you saw this was coming. I thought it was the monad.
Oh, the monad
that did it. That's why I started laughing. Well, like, it's the monad dickpot, isn't it?
No, I have nothing else to say except let's just try to come away a little bit smarter from everything, and just remind people, like, no one is forcing you to buy things. There are a million ways to lose money in crypto, and it's really hard to lose money.
Very few to make money, but lots of ways to lose it.
There are a lot of ways to lose money, and one way to not is don't actually buy anything ever. You don't actually, I mean, it's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to. You can enjoy Farcaster. Why are you laughing?
I just think that's funny. Just don't buy anything ever in crypto ever. Like, that's a good way to move things forward. I just thought it was funny. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
I mean,
you're right though. Yeah, absolutely. And or you could buy all the things like me, but you will lose money. You will absolutely.
We have fun.
You absolutely lose money. This was from Jeff XYZ. Yes, this is not a test. Yes, this is for low agency users. Yes, I do have the private key. Yes, when Kevin MFer returns, he will have an allocation waiting for him. So this was the launch of Monad Dickbutt. And it just was funny. It's just funny because there's a dickbutt on every chain. And that's just the way it rolls, and we are not serious people. So there you go. Moving on to a few builder things. Another quick update on writer coins. We discovered an issue on Friday. This is from Colin from Paragraph that prevented the market cap of early writer coins from increasing beyond 10K. We fixed this for AVC and all newly created coins on Friday, and we've right now gone ahead and helped the other affected writers relaunch their coins with the proper liquidity params. Anyone who is holding an affected writer coin has received a proportionate allocation for the new coin. Reward recipients also need to reclaim rewards. For both, you can claim from paragraph.com/claim or on the writer's claim page. Very sorry for the inconvenience here. So if you go to this frame on Colin's, on that Colin had shared, you'll be able to reclaim their new ones, including the GM Farcaster one, because that was one of the ones that was fixed. Which, I'm sorry we weren't able to figure that out sooner, but we didn't have enough people actually buy it. They didn't figure it out until Fred came along.
That's amazing.
Actually, it's popped off, and that's how they figured this out. It was a problem.
Has anyone checked to see if Ethereum has the same bug?
Oh, that would be great. Can somebody go check that? Devs do something? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the issue. That's funny. This was cool to see. So this is from JC4P. Okay, here's a prototype of a wingman. So this goes back. He shared a prototype about a way to optimize your casts, and he was building something. He launched a token called Wingman, and then here's the actual thing. You need 10 million of the token to access. Right now, it just rates your last 40 casts on its scoring system. Later today, you'll be able to compose a cast, and it'll provide feedback. So it gives you, it scores your cast and kind of gives you an idea of how much engagement you get from that. Ooh, I don't think I'm logged in. I don't think I'm logged in, but it gives you an idea of what your casts are, et cetera, et cetera. And it's pretty cool. So go check that out from our friend
awesome.
JC4P. And of course, I bought some Wingman because I wanted access and also just to support him because it was him. But
I love that
NFA DYOR.
I love that he's still building on Farcaster because
know.
he's been vocally critical at times,
Yeah.
and I think so I think especially for people like him to see kind of like he's a great builder and
great builder.
And this made me
and that's
happy.
why I bought, like, at first, as soon as I saw he dropped something, I'm like, of course I'm gonna support that because he's such a good builder. And then I like that he, made it token gated. Like, good for you. Like, that's a great way to do this because I think there's like a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of cost involved to running mini apps. Like, there is cost involved. It's not free. So, that's how I look at it, is if you're going to provide something to me, like, I want to support it. So
Anyway.
I
like that use case of like buy a little token. It's like you buy, I know that who did the GIF one, GIF.
Yeah. I was fine with that. Yeah.
It was always like, buy a little token, use it. It seems also somehow easier than,
It's a fair deal. And it's a good use case for clankers.
And answers the question, what would the token do?
It does. And this is what the token would do, give you access. I think giving access is one of the best use cases of tokens and NFTs. This from Sahil, and this is long, so I'm just going to give a quick overview of this. Every Clanker coin should do this. Last week, a few Clankers launched believer leaderboards on Cura to identify and reward their token communities. In 1 week, 2,000 plus FIP2 token casts, 5x growth for Regent, as an example. 400 plus users earned for trading and casting, more volume and attention, $2,500 in rewards for Clanker creators. So just another way to use your token in a way that drives attention to it, using Cura. So if you want to learn more, go check out Cura, and you'll see that now they're doing something kind of smart where once you launch a token, there's a message that'll pop up on that thread. It's automated. That tells you about Cura and how you can use the token there. So very cool. So for those with communities, check it out. This from our friends at Minted Merch. Minted Merch t-shirt design competition is live. Unleash your creativity and design the next hit tee on Farcaster. And I've seen a few shared that look pretty cool. So it's going through December 7th. Anything Farcaster vibes, quote-cast this cast with your design and make sure you tag Minted Merch. So go check that out. Excited to see what people come up with. I saw one from Brett Draws Stuff. I should have grabbed it. That was really cute. It said sufficiently decentralized in like a gradient purple. And it was really, I'm like, I want that. I don't know if they're going to do, I would love for them to do a vote on this. It would be fun. For those who are holding Minted Merch token, would be another good use case. There you go. Well, this from Tim, and again, I'm not going to read this whole thing because it's really long, but go give it a read. From TLDR. I know there's too many things. I told you there was lots of things. A quick update on Bracky. Building on Farcaster has given our team a priceless gift. The gift of genuine conviction that we have a product which high quality users actually enjoy, come back to, and like telling their friends about. We are now working on distributing that product into new social spaces. Everything we worked on for a year has been consciously structured so that Bracky could help us grow by being able to live on in any social feed. That's been the vision. So it continues on. He continues on to talk about why the social feed is important, which I think is a really good discussion. And talking about how they're expanding to Twitter, and then they're going to expand to other locations. So go check that out for those who are interested in Bracky. And they've been building slowly and intentionally, and it's been a very smart move the way in which they've been moving. So we appreciate you guys. This is really cool. And again, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but this I thought was interesting and unrelated to Farcaster directly. This is from PWN DAO. It's happening. The first pure DeFi mortgage is live. The time to build non-speculative DeFi and expand its real-world utility is now. Check out the first 5-year fixed rate on-chain mortgage powered by PWN Protocol, Aave Pools, and EtherFi. WeEth. So Bordell Hackerspace, first ever pure DeFi mortgage. I think this is just really interesting. So that's why I pulled this one. To me, this has always been a really great use case that we just haven't seen come into reality yet. And this is just a really cool thing where they're trying to fund a hackerspace. So great use case. Very exciting. Love it. We've had a couple interesting things, which I forgot to share this last week. And I saw it again. I went, oh, that's right. We need to share this now. So this is from V. I'm excited to share what I've been snacking on for the last 3 months. My wife, how do you pronounce that name? Shilpa has been working on healthy chocolates for kids, and I can confirm they're great for adults too. So this was the cocoa melt, and I did not connect the dots, by the way, that this was Varun's wife. So very cool to see this. And I went to order, and then I realized it's only available in California. Okay. So you can't order it yet. But if you're in California, go check it out. It's kind of cool. And Julia, speaking of spouses, Julia was on Cheeky Pint talking nuclear. So that is Dan's wife. So that was fun to see. This from Aneri. Next week, the BaseApp team is in New York for an IRL Surge Week. If you're a builder who wants to jam with the team all week, get hands-on feedback on your mini app, reach out. We've made some incredible hires by doing these in the past. If you're a creator who wants to meet the creator team, join for creator coffee chats, get set up with your creator coin and earning on BaseApp, or reach out to us as well. This is for next week in NYC only. For everyone else, we have plenty of ongoing programs for builders and creators around the world, always running on Base. So check that out if you're in New York. There's also, next week is Art Basel. I booked a hotel and everything, and I'm like, I might even cancel because I don't know what's going on. I've seen nothing. I keep checking, and I've seen bits and pieces that there's some kind of base event with Boys Club happening on the 3rd. There's something going with Pudgy Penguins on the 4th, but nothing solid. And I think everyone was too distracted by Dev Connect that none of that has been pushed out yet. So I'm like, what is
either that or art out, trader in.
I mean, that's been the case for a couple of years. Yeah. So that's not surprising that it's not as much going on, but I'm I've literally seen nothing. So it's a little weird. So I don't know if what's happening, but I might be at Art Basel next week and I might not. I might cancel if nothing's going on.
No bagel brunch?
Maybe if I end up going, I might throw something together, but I'm kind of going to evaluate over the next couple of days and see if anybody actually gives any solid ideas of what's happening. And then finally, it's Thanksgiving, folks. So we'll be off on Friday because we just will, because we both have kids at home and family stuff going on. So this is the only show this week. We'll be back on Monday. I did like your dry brine versus wet brine for your Thanksgiving turkey prep. Dry crushed it.
I'm pretty sure only 2 people voted. Didn't no one?
22, 23.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some people. Yeah. It had a pretty good pool. And I guess Dan agrees to the dry brining there. And it was funny. You're doing this and turkey. Zinger said, and Thanksgiving is a week-long holiday in my house. So he's already cooking away. You were cooking.
Dry brining is easier. So, for people who have low effort, I can understand why you like dry brining better.
So she's calling you all low effort Low effort
right.
Thanksgivingers.
Like,
so there you go.
Yeah, sprinkle some salt. Sprinkle some salt on some meat. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh, it's a holiday.
Dan, she's calling you low effort in your brining. Just note that, please. And this is from our friend Galazio. Started Friendsgiving prep today. Prepped a double batch of shortbread cookies. I made the dough and shaped the cookies. I'll freeze them until the day of the dinner. Amazing. So lots of fun things on the timeline. This is from Justin, the Costco cart in prep for Thanksgiving end of year. So cool to see. And then lastly from Codon, a great omen when you just arrive to stay with your family for Thanksgiving, and it's a fortune cookie saying, avoid compulsively making things worse. So, and I think that with that is good advice for those of you heading to see your family. Somebody else had posted, it was me, had posted about, so are we saying we're in crypto or tech this year? And I was like, ma'am, this is a Wendy's. No. Like, none of the above. Try something else. You work at McDonald's now. Low agency briners. Exactly. All right. Anything else, Adrienne?
No.
I think that's it. All right, folks. It's been a pleasure. We'll be back on Monday. Do you have a guest on Monday? I don't think so. No. So we'll get caught up. We'll see how everybody's doing post holidays. We'll see how the markets are looking, because I don't know. I'm hopeful for one last rally, and I'm thinking it's post Thanksgiving. So maybe next week, maybe not. We'll see. But I think it's our last shot before the year ends. I think we get a Fed. I think the Fed does their thing too next week or something. So, all right, everybody, have a lovely holiday for those who celebrate. For those who are in the other areas of the world, just, have a nice Thursday. And we'll see you next Monday. And with that, everybody, bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of GM Farcaster. And thank you to all our partners and HyperSub supporters bringing this episode to you. Follow the GM Farcaster channel for all the latest updates, and add our mini app on Farcaster and the base app. Until next time, bye-bye.